I just don't think I'm set up for this. I don't think I'm cut out for this. And I have been saying this for years. Hey there, I'm Heaven and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found me. In the past year or so, as I was getting reacclimated to YouTube, I was showing you how I find balance and build discipline as a mom, MBA student, side hustle girly, all of those things. And I still do many of those things, but going into 2025, I'm more focused on how I can become a businesswoman. And what that means to me is past just getting a business degree and running my side business on the side. I want to be a founder of some sort. I want to take an idea from ideation to execution. Whether it scales to a million and I exit and I become rich, like that's another question. But as a thought exercise for me and myself, I need to just prove that I can do it and overcome the barriers that are associated with this, because it's just a foreign area in space to me. It's not something that I've ever done before, because I follow the traditional path of you go to school, you get a job, and then you work that job, and then now I'm going back to school. And while I don't regret going back to school, I don't think it's a waste of my time, as some people would have you to believe. I do believe that I subscribe to the idea that, oh, I'm going to go to school, get this degree and this credential, and I'm immediately going to make more money. My life is going to be better, which maybe it will. But I just have come to this conclusion and realization, and it's been weighing on me for some time now, which is always why I had a second job or a side hustle or a little something I did on the side. But this sounds so cliche, but I cannot work a 9 to 5. I say that now, like loving my job, really appreciating my coworkers and the people I work with, and being really excited and happy about the work I get to do and the events I get to go to and the places I get to see and the events I get to attend. But this is not sustainable for me in the long term. And I know this because I get anxious thinking about it, thinking about how for the rest of my days, I'm only 26, but for the next 25 years of my life, that's just assuming I am able to retire at 50-ish if I, scale up and ladder up in the corporate ladder and organizational ladder. 25 more years of this is not sustainable, whether I'm working from home or working in an office. My last job before my current one, I worked remotely, and I had never been so stressed out in my life. Most of the people I'd work with day to day, I wouldn't see in person except for once or twice a year, either at a work retreat or at a training event where we would converge in one location, and that stressed me out. So I feel quite confident that the current setup of things will not work for me. And it has taken me until recently that I've kind of dived back into productivity content and entrepreneurship content, and like listening and learning and watching from different creators who have scaled their businesses, but also entrepreneurs talking about, launching apps and companies and all of that. And I'm like, this sounds hard and like a lot of work, but what also sounds hard and like a lot of work? Working my fingers to the bone until I can't anymore and never getting time to really rest and enjoy. So I figure, although I am at the ripe age of 26, why not give it a go and try now? And if I fail, I can always go back to work. Or if I don't fail, then we count it as a win. But I have just decided that now is the time. There is no time like the present. I have a small child, but I think the time is now because she is small, and much of this she won't remember. When things work out the way that I hope they will, I'll have built a foundation for our life that she will then appreciate. On top of feeling like I can't do the 9 to 5 thing anymore, I have realized as well that I feel like there is so much within me that I'm not able to express, or there's a lot of energy and potential that is just going untapped because of just the way that things are set up, the structure of the organization that I work for. And I don't think it's any one person's fault. I just don't think I'm set up for this. I don't think I'm cut out for this. And I have been saying this for years. I can't do it. It is not in alignment with who I am to subject myself to this. And I keep feeling like something is wrong with me for feeling that way, but maybe it's the other way around. Everything is not for everybody. That's why we have other options. I think because what I want to pursue now is so divergent from what I have been taught and told is what we should do or ought to do, I'm really struggling with it. I'm having to reframe and retrain my brain and apply different frameworks and ways of thinking and perspectives that I otherwise would not have. I could do a job search all day because that's what I've done the last few years since I've been in my career, but I feel like I'm not being used to my fullest potential, and I don't feel like I'm reaping the benefits to the degree that I should from the time that I spend at work. And again, I think this would be the case whether I'm at my current job, previous job, any job. Every job that I've had, about 6 to 9 months in, sometimes earlier, it's pretty clear to me that, yeah, I'm ready to go. Like, even if I love and enjoy what I'm doing, it gets to a point where I'm like, okay, this was fun. I'm ready to do something else. But the problem or the challenge is that I have two mouths to feed. There's a certain level of stability and predictability that I require and desire for my life. And so I obviously don't just up and change or move or do something different. But I feel it burning inside me now that like I have to make a change and try this out. And it's really scary to think about blowing up my life, like ending a career or pivoting from one career into a new area and diving into a realm in an area I'm totally unfamiliar with, from business to tech to entrepreneurship, like all of those things. It's terrifying, but at the same time, I remind myself that no one who has done this before is smarter than me. Maybe they are, but them being smarter than me or having more experience doesn't mean that I can't do it. I just have to force myself to take the time to learn and get in the rooms, get in the spaces. And so that's what I'm focused on doing right now. As I mentioned, as you probably know if you're on my channel, I'm currently enrolled in an online MBA program. That program will end April 2026, so that's when we graduate. And I'm really basing my timeline off of this kind of discovery and exploratory phase of founding something, becoming a founder of something like that. I don't even know what to call it. I just call it becoming a businesswoman. I'm basing my timeline off of graduation because I felt very strongly that I wanted to just power through this program, finish, and then from there make my next decision. Like, I do desire to move out of St. Pete. I do desire to experience other cities, just also for my personal development. And I'm coming to realize a big part of this founding something and becoming a founder, you have to be in the room. I don't see myself moving to San Francisco or Silicon Valley anytime soon. That just feels way, way, way out there. It's on the other side of the country from my family, and it's also exponentially expensive to live there. So that is not something that I'm comfortable entertaining right now. However, how I'm bridging that gap right now is I have started looking into tech founder meetups and conferences and hackathons and different events, and I'm so excited to share what I have found. USF St. Pete is having a business hackathon. I believe it's 2 or 3 days, and essentially students and people from the community can come and essentially put yourself in a startup pressure cooker and try to solve some problems, and the tickets are $15. And that's happening in a few months or at the end of the month. I don't know. It's coming up soon, and it's sponsored by Techstars. I'm only familiar with Techstars because my line sister is a founder of a startup, and she's a part of a Techstars accelerator right now. And I'm like, this feels divine. It feels too good that I decided I wanted to do this a few weeks ago, did a little bit of research, and came up on this thing. And there's so many different convergences from my life or from people and things that I know that are happening with this particular event. And it says on the website, it is specifically for people who are in the ideation phase. And that's where I am. I'm very, 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 very early. So I'm right now focused on getting in the room and just learning and being in the spaces, because I've realized I don't know what I don't know. Everybody's trying to use AI to leverage, harness, optimize, and supercharge. And a lot of the time I don't know what that means. But I figure let's not just dive into it a little overzealous. Let's start getting in the spaces and hearing the conversations and listening to the experts and listening to what people are doing, not being afraid to ask questions. If you know me, you know I'm gonna ask a question. But I'm really energized around this. Like, this feels like it's going in the right direction. I've also generated an idea for a product. It's more of a platform. Well, it's a product, it's a platform. I don't know how you call it, but it feels like a good idea. But at the same time, I also don't know how to determine if something like this is a good idea. So I think this is why this business hackathon will be great for me. I feel so reignited. Like, I'm still excited about school, don't get me wrong. I need to dive in and try to get ahead on my coursework so I can focus more on what I want to do with this business and development thing. But I've not felt excited about something like this in a long time. I feel like I'm on the right track. I feel like I'm going in the right direction in a way that I haven't felt in a while. I just wanted to come on here and record this video for anybody who was thinking about pivoting or starting something new, or venturing into an area that is totally unfamiliar to them, or entering a space that someone who is like you or holds your identities is traditionally excluded from or not uplifted within. One thing I will say in my research of these different events and of founders and of some of these solutions and products and platforms, there are so few people who are non-white. And then thinking about people who are unambiguously Black with nappy hair. Okay, these things are not in and of themselves super important, but I find it fascinating that there are very few visual identities represented. And I figure, if I go to these events or when I go to these events, I might be the only. And I'm okay with that because I grew up being the only. But I figure if someone's going to do it, like, why not me? Why not try it and fail? Why not get out there and make a fool of myself and feel stupid or whatever? Like, there is nothing on this side of fear that is going to get me where I want to be. And I wanted to come and share this with you all and inspire you. If you want to do something, if you want to try something, you got to do it. You got to just do it, and you have to not be afraid to look dumb, or not be afraid to get it wrong, or not be afraid to not get it all the way right. And I intend to bring y'all along on this journey. So thank you for starting the morning with me. If you stayed to the end of the video with me, let me know in the comments right now, what is something new that you're going to try in 2025? Are you going to try becoming a writer? Are you going to try playing tennis for the first time? Are you going to try going on a solo trip for the first time? Are you going to try becoming a parent? Okay, we can talk about that all day long. Are you going to try starting a business? Are you going to try becoming an artist? Anything that you're going to try new to you in 2025, let me know in the comments. I want to hear about it. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.